welcome back. It's Sunday, so it's time to go through the 12-pound barrel. We put some kaleidoscope jasper in last week, so I'm really excited to see what that's looking like. I'm sure it hasn't changed much in 1 week, but we'll see what it looks like. A lot of zebra jasper and red jasper going on. See some Botswanas and some other stuff. Some of the Mozambiques. We've still got our Thunder Egg and our Geode rolling around in there, so we'll see if they've made much change in this week. There's the Thunder Egg. I see some of the kaleidoscope jasper in that basket too. All right, I'll go through that and see what's ready to move on, and we'll take a look at our kaleidoscope jasper, see how that's done in 1 week, and we'll take a look at a few other things. This is what we have moving on this week. We'll take a look at some of that stuff, and then I have some other things sitting here that we'll take a little look at. A lot of what we have coming out this week are Botswana agates. And we got a couple of them that are pretty nice. I might zoom in just a little bit. That one's got some pretty good pattern on it, but it does have a fracture right here. But it goes pretty deep into the pattern, and I guess it's all the way on the backside. So it's something we're not going to get rid of. I guess there's a little, well, I don't know if that's a line or a fracture, but there's definitely one right there, and it goes pretty deep, so we're not going to get rid of it. So we're just going to move it on because it has a nice pattern on that side. This one's got a pretty cool little pattern going on with it. You can kind of see into it. I don't know how well you can see that on the camera when I tip it, but you can see into it where it's got more transparent bands and more white bands, and that one looks really nice. It's got some stuff on the back that isn't as the normal, just a little bit of quartz crystals on the end there you can see. But yeah, that one's pretty nice. Here's another Botswana, and you can see some pretty good pattern going on there. Once again, right here you can see how you can see down into the rock as I tip it. Kind of boring on the back side, but it does have that quartz pocket there, and it's got some bands going around it, so that one's pretty nice. There's another Botswana, and this one has a pretty cool pattern going on this side, and it's got the tubes on the back, and then you can see some crystals there, or like quartz crystals, I believe, with some banding around it. But yeah, that one looks really nice. And a couple more, at least one more. This one's got some pretty neat bands on it. I like that a lot. Kind of has some eyes on the backside. You can see all the layers there. But yeah, that's a really nice one. And then we do have a couple of the Bahia agate, or not Bahia, but Mozambique. It's got the crystals you can see in there. A little bit of banding going on back here. It does have this one little spot right there, but it's been tumbling for a long time and I'm ready to move it on. And I'm just going to live with that. You can barely feel it. It has some discoloration. I'd have to tumble it a long time or grind it, and I'm not going to get the grinder out right now, so it's just going to move on. One more Mozambique. This is a Mozambique, but it's basically just pretty well transparent agate. It's got that spot. That was a spot you could feel for a long time. And now you can't feel it. It's just a little different color right there where that spot was. I thought I saw some light bands in there. Maybe we'll have to get the flashlight on that one. But it's pretty plain, but it's all smoothed out. Ready to go to medium. And then here's another Mozambique. This one's got some bands going on this side. They're really hard to see. It almost has some fortification on that little spot there, and then a little bit down here on this side. Not much else going on with it, but it's looking good. And then other than that, it's just a couple of random. I am pulling out this one piece of zebra jasper, and it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. And this side here, I kind of like the shape of it. And I don't want to break that end off where it's really thin. So we're going to pull it off because it's got the stripes going on with it. And it's not too terrible bad. It's pretty well smoothed out. So this week we did wear into the geode. You can see we wore into some holes there. And you can see there's some crystals in there. So it is hollow. And we wore into the hollow cavity. Still got a pretty good amount of the host rock back here, whatever that is. So I'm undecided with what to do with it. I don't know if I want to cut it or possibly, I don't know. I really couldn't polish it like this because you're gonna have to wash it forever to try to get the grit out of there in between stages. Because I thought it'd be neat to polish the outside and then cut it. So the outside was polished and the inside had crystals, but it didn't work out with this one. Maybe I went 1 week too long. But I'm going to set this one aside for now and kick it around for a while and decide what I want to do with it. I haven't decided quite yet. And then the Thunder Egg, it's looking about the same. We're kind of getting to some stuff in the agate right there that you can see some different things going on. So we're just going to keep on. You're getting to see more and more of the agate and less of the host rock, whatever that is. So it's basically we're just probably going to end up with a chunk of agate when we're done with this one, and we'll just polish it. But that's all right. We've got quite a few more of the Thunder Eggs and a few more of the geodes too. So we'll be doing some cutting again here one of these days. But we haven't got the saw back out yet. So now we'll take a look at some of this kaleidoscope jasper. And it's only ran for 1 week, but the edges are starting to round down a little bit. It does look after it's ran for a week that there's some of it that has some pretty good fractures in it. So I didn't really notice that so much when I cut it. I may end up having to cut it some more or possibly break it because you can see like that fracture line right there. It could break on. And then there's also a fracture line right here. So I'm unsure. Yeah, you can see that this chunk right here, I could probably break that off. And maybe I should, but I'm going to tumble it a bit longer before I start doing anything too drastic with it. That one doesn't have as much color in it, but it's got some pretty decent looking pattern going on. Not a lot on that one. That one's a little more on the boring side, but this one's got some red and yellow. And you can see all the sharp edges are tamed down a little bit. Not too much in just 1 week, but it's coming along. So I don't know what to think about this. I was really excited about it when I got it. It has cool colors in it, but we will see how it starts working out with the fractures. It's got that cool green on there, but I'm afraid it's not very deep, and I might tumble it off, but maybe we'll get it smoothed out a little bit more and leave some of that. I don't know. I wanted to make these perfect because it's something that I don't have much of, and it's got pretty cool colors on it, but it might end up being one of those things where if I don't want to tumble it away to nothing, I'm just going to have to live with some flaws with it. Maybe I'll try to order some more of it and see if I can't get a better batch of the material, a better sample. And that's about all we have on those. There's another one. I never noticed that black line on that one till now. Oh, it's just a crack. I can feel it. I didn't look like I could see it, but I can feel it. So that might end up need to be cut off, or it might pop off of there. We'll see what happens. So we'll go ahead and get everything loaded back into the tumbler. And, well, we'll get everything set up here, and we'll get everything back in and get it going for another week. We've got the majority of our stuff back in the barrel. This is the old kaleidoscope Jasper and the Thunder Egg that we just looked at. And I think we've got room for some more stuff this week. I want to try to get the rest of the kaleidoscope Jasper ready, so we'll put that in. So that's all we had on the kaleidoscope. Might dump a little water out. And we've got just a little bit of the zebra Jasper left. And I'm thinking we're just going to finish it off. And that should do it. We're just over 2/3 full there. I think some weeks I have it a little lower than I probably could, so I think we'll be all right. We've got our 14 tablespoons of our 3670, 4670, whichever it is. And we're ready to go back on for another week. Thanks for watching.